Hey everybody, welcome back to This Is What We Do. Bruce here. Hey, we're out in the garage this morning on this cold, wintry morning in West Virginia. And what we're going to do is work on the transmission front pump seal in this 727 transmission. I haven't shown you all too much of this car, but this is my 66 Plymouth Valiant. And it had the engine issue there about a year ago. We finally got it piecemealed back together. And there's some just routine maintenance we need to do, things for good measure. So what we're going to do this morning is we're going to pull this front pump seal out and put in a new one. And I'm going to show you a couple unorthodox tools that you can use if you don't have the fancy seal pullers and seal installers. What you can do at home, reasonably priced, just takes a little time to build them. So let's get started. Okay, so the first thing is I'm going to try and get my big body underneath this car. And as always, we like to work safely. So there's no jacks or anything like that underneath the car that this thing's actually sitting on. It's actually sitting on plates that have casters on them for moving around in the shop. So they're all sturdy steel. They're not going to go anywhere. But there isn't any jack stands. We got a transmission jack underneath of it, but that's really just added safety. But the car itself just sitting on these roll around stands. So whatever I do with my tools, I'm just trying to go at this from underneath the car to see what happens. So we're doing this with nothing fancy in the way of tools. And typically what I like to do is, if the seal's been in there a while or you got a good quality seal, what have you, they'll really stick in the pump housing here. So we can try something. We just got a heavy flat blade screwdriver here. See if we can even get in there to it or not. I don't think that's going to work at all. I can't. I need something that's got a right angle to it. Okay, so that's not going to work too good. So let's see if we can fold the side of the seal in a little bit, take a little pressure off of it. Now this is cast iron, so we're not going to booger that up, and this is an old blunt screwdriver anyway. So let me see if I can flat one side a little bit. Yeah, I don't like that either. It's going in too straight. Okay, so let's stop here and regroup and find something better. I think I just whacked the stand with my hand there. Okay, so what I did after a whole lot of fooling around here is I got the seal out. And what we did is, let me show you the old seal. You can see it's mangled a little bit. Well, what I did is I took a flat blade screwdriver and worked all the way around this edge. As you can see, it's got a lip to it. And I did that because I wanted something to be able to slide behind this and then kind of like a bottle cap, just pop it off, for those of you who still remember the old bottle caps. But anyway, once we got that lip up, then took a screwdriver and tapped down here on this edge to kind of fold in the upper edge a little bit. And what that does, it gives me this lip to pry against. So I just took, wherever it went to, bear with me a second. I just took this little screwdriver here and went around the edge, lifted, just tapped it all the way around 360 degrees. And then once I had that up in the air, just put the screwdriver underneath it here and twist it like a popping the top on a bottle. So that came out. So anyway, we got a little bit of cleaning to do in there. I'm going to spray a little light brake cleaner in there and get some rags, clean that out. That's just surface corrosion, as you can see on there now. That's just from sitting out here in the shop. I'll clean all that up too. But this other thing I wanted to show you, you'll probably laugh at me, but my seal installer. So what I did is I cut some 2x4s, and 3 of them, and these are about 5 inches long. And then I took a hole sawed through the middle of the first one, took it off the drill press, and did the second one, the third one, so on and so forth. And then took this piece of poplar plywood and screwed that across the end as an end cap, something to hammer against. So we're not actually hammering on the shaft. And I'll show you this here in a minute. So what happens, this slides up over it like that, goes flat against the face of the seal. And since it's wood, you got no chance of damaging anything. We just got to get it started square and then send it home. So thought y'all might get a kick out of that. That's West Virginia way of doing things, but it's cheap. And, you know, a few wood screws, and you probably can't see it, but I glued these together and screwed them to just kind of make it more sturdy. So we'll be back in a second as soon as I get this cleaned up, and then we'll show you the install. It's not terribly dirty, but let me get some brake cleaner here, a couple rags. And yes, since this is a transmission, you don't want to get a bunch of dirt in there. So we don't want to also spray the brake cleaner in the transmission. We just want to clean the snout a little bit and that opening. I wiped this off the other day. It wasn't terribly dirty, but we're going to do it again. And I'll just keep wiping this off so no more gunk shows up on the rag. You got quite a bit there, and that's that surface rust, that reddish brown colored stuff. So keep my hands clean, because the outside edges of this particular seal, it doesn't have a sealant on it, but you don't want to finger up your seals too bad with the grease and muck, because that is a potential leak area. And I don't know if you can see it or not, this one does have a spring inside of it, like a lot of seals do. Some do, some don't. But there's a little trick thing I do there before we put it in. When you're tapping on these seals, oftentimes if you were to hit them too hard, you can actually cause the spring to fly off. Well, if this spring flies off and goes into the pump, that can't be good. So there's a little thing I do to kind of retain the spring. Super easy. I'll show you here in a second. I'm just going to do a test fit real quick. I already checked it on the torque converter. That fits very well. But let's just see what it does up in the transmission. Oh yeah, looks good. Perfect. Okay. Okay, so here's a little trick thing we're going to do. We're not going to go crazy with this, but this is pure silicone gel. And it'll melt down with the hot transmission fluid. It won't hurt anything, and it's a lubricant of its own. And we're not putting tons in there. But what I do is I just stake the spring. Hope you can see what I'm doing here. Just a couple little dollops. So I'll put a little dollop in there like that. Another little dollop in there like that. Another little dollop in there like that. And one up here for good measure. That. And what that does, it keeps the spring from shaking around in there. And you can take your finger and push it down in there if you want to. Doesn't hurt anything. Because it's going to melt probably within the first 15-20 minutes. When the transmission gets up to temperature, it's just going to melt and turn to nothing. Now, I'm not going to put any of this on the actual seal itself. I normally lubricate that with transmission fluid, just because that's the way it would be in the car. It probably wouldn't hurt anything if you put it on the seal, but I've never tried it. I don't want to just try it and then have a seal leak at some later date. So we'll go ahead and slide our seal down. Try not to drag it on that shaft. Get it squared up. I'm just going to kind of push it with my fingers. Get it started. Get my light around here. I didn't want to dent the seal at all, so I just took an old bolt and made the top of the bolt flat with a belt sander. I'm just going to use this to tap it in to get it started. Oops, and it wants to turn on me. I'm just trying to get it started. That's all. It might take a little effort here. It might take a lot of effort. I can just get it stuck there. All right. Now she's starting to go. Just take your time and don't be in a big hurry, because if, like I'm using this bolt head, I got to keep it flat on the seal. So we're at the point now where we can try our seal driver. Got nothing to lose, everything to gain. And I got an extra seal in case I destroy this one. So, okay, so she started. And send her home. Well, that was easy. Just the one edge, looks like. Okay, so just this bottom edge. This is where I probably should have got a heavier dead blow, but let's just see if we can get this a little bit better. Yeah, that's really good. This is almost flush over here. This side has a little tiny lip, so I'm going to jump back and forth. So this worked pretty good. I wouldn't say it worked great, but it worked pretty good. So this is pretty flat, has a little tiny lip here, all up to here. So let's see if we can send it home the rest of the way with this. Okay, so there you have it. Seal installed. So we're just going to wipe this off a little bit. And I won't bore you with the details. I'll clean that input shaft. And we'll move on to something else. Okay, we're getting ready to put the torque converter in. Turn my light off on me. Okay, so hopefully you can see this. Here's our torque converter. Okay, a lot smaller than regular automobile torque converter because this is a race converter. And you can see the slots in the end of it. Those are the drive lugs for the internal pump of the transmission. So you always hear folks talking about making sure you get proper engagement. Yeah, it's a must. For one thing, with this car, I would never get the engine to marry up to the transmission if it wasn't all the way up in there. So let's go ahead and give it a whirl. You just want to take your time with this. Don't slam it, just let it do its thing. And there's splines. Just got to get it up on the splines. It'll start to go in. And what I do is I move it forwards and backwards. And it will engage pretty soon. One thing about it, we don't fake any of this. Where's my rag at? Sometimes what happens is the pump gear inside can slide down a little bit. So what happens is when you're spinning it back and forth, you're trying to get it to realign. Oh, baby. There it goes. Just felt one drop. Oh, that's good. There's another one. 3. What? See that? 1, 2, 3. And it can be a bear. The trick is just don't force it. All right. So she's in there. Good. And we'll just spin it a couple more times just to make absolutely sure. And that's going to be good. All right. And we lost a little fluid. That's normal. But one thing, this is going to sit for a little while. I don't like this to just hang down on the shaft or against that seal. So we'll just take something like this screwdriver, and it's resting against the suspension steering. I'll lift it up a little bit and see how that kind of holds the weight. That way it's not just resting on that seal till we get ready to put the engine in there. Okay, there you go. Input shaft seal in, and I'll make another video on putting the short block in. Once we get the short block in and bolted, to the transmission and to the chassis. Then we'll work on cylinder heads. So, all right, everybody. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe if you so choose it. And hopefully this was some help to you. If you try to do this on your own at home or in your buddy's garage, more power to you, because this is what we do. Take care.